So it's time for us to go and take a look at the M2 Mac Mini and see how this thing is holding up in the middle part of 2023. Now what's funny is with this specific Mac, it's only been out for 6 months now, or maybe 4 or 5 months, but it's taken the world by storm, so lots of people are still interested in this Mac, and I still think it's a very, very good Mac to basically pick up right now. So first of all, the outside of this thing still looks pretty modern. I mean, it's kind of funny because they haven't changed the design on this thing pretty much since the first Mac Mini. I mean, maybe the second or third one. I have a 2014 Mac Mini that still looks identically the same as this thing. Now on the front, there's nothing. There's just a little button. There's a light switch too. So there's not really anything super crazy going on. I don't even think there's a button on the front of this thing. The button's on the back of this thing. You are getting several port selections on this Mac as well. So you are getting 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, which is nice if you're getting the standard M2 model. But if you're getting the M2 Pro model, you cannot forget about that one because that one does come, it's a little bit more expensive. You're getting 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports. So depending on which model you get, you're either getting 2 on the cheaper one or you're getting 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports on the more expensive one. But both of them basically come with 2 USB-A ports, an HDMI port, and an Ethernet port as well. But you can upgrade that to a 10 gigabit Ethernet port if you really want to. So keep that in mind. So the ports are almost the same, but if you do get the M2 Pro model, you can spec it out a little bit more, which is actually pretty nice. Now that's kind of that on the outside. The performance of these things are still very, very good as well. So with the M2 Mac Mini, you can get up to 12 core CPU, up to 19 core GPU, up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, and up to 8 terabytes of storage. That is an insane amount of power to have on a Mac like this. To give you some perspective, I do have my M1 Pro MacBook Pro, the 14-inch one, and I don't even tap out the storage. I don't tap out anything on this Mac. Storage, RAM, power, anything. I'm editing a lot of videos in one day, and I do some other work too here and there, and this Mac handles everything perfectly fine. The M2 model is also going to be probably in the same ballpark. The M2 Pro model is going to be better, but keep that in mind. If your use case is very basic, if you're not going through and if you're not using all the power within your Mac, you're probably going to be in a very, very good spot of being able to use the M2 Mac Mini for many, many years and not even feeling like you're running out of space or running out of storage or running out of memory or power. You're going to be in a very, very good spot with that type of Mac, which I've actually appreciated a lot. So that is a very big thing to keep in mind here. Now, another big thing with these specific Macs is actually beyond with the power, it's with its, cheapness and price and flexibility. So with the Mac Mini, if you need a dedicated desktop, you can still pack this thing up in a book bag and bring it with you somewhere. You can dock this thing up and, be able to plug it into a couple different monitors if you want to. There's a lot of capability that you're having here with this type of Mac. And because this thing is a little bit older now, you can probably find these things a little bit cheaper than what they used to be. So that's kind of another, kind of thing when you're getting a Mac like this. They're a little bit cheaper. They're a little bit easier to access. You don't have to wait as long for them anymore. And the only thing where I would be do you want to buy an M2 Mac Mini or should you buy something else? Is if you're able to buy an M2 MacBook Air. That's really the only other thing. If you want a little bit more, not power, but if you want a little bit more flexibility of having a MacBook kind of thing, getting an M2 MacBook Air or even an M2 MacBook Pro, that wouldn't be that bad of an idea. They're a little bit more expensive, but you are getting the ability of being a little bit more portable. But other than that, I think the M2 Mac Mini is still a very good purchase. It's funny that not many people are talking about this Mac anymore, but they are still very, very good, and I would highly recommend picking them up for sure. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.